Hey, Jackman here, and welcome to my channel. If you've been a PC Madden fan for a long time, an active player, then you've come to the right place. And I've been a long-term Madden fan on the PC and player for many years. As a matter of fact, the first Madden that I ever had a chance to experience was the '89 Madden. I think it was with MS-DOS or something like that. It was so pixely, and the sound was so monotone. It was just ugly as hell. 94 edition of Madden, and it was still very pixely. I played it on the Sega Genesis as well as on the PC. And interesting, I actually made it all the way to the Super Bowl, but I think I got a pass interference call, and it never really clearly showed how I did that, but I lost the game. I think it was Buffalo, New York, and I played New York and I lost to Buffalo. Yeah, the first ever John Madden football game, first released in 1988. The one I played on was the 1989 MS-DOS edition, and I think it was also available for the Commodore 64 128, although I never really played it on the Commodore. It was released by Electronic Arts, and it did feature John Madden at the time. And some of the stuff that it included was like weather conditions, hot rain, snow, cold and windy. Time of quarters was from 8, 10, 12, 15 minutes, I think. It had something with player fatigue, injuries, and penalties. It did not have any feature season play, only single games, and there was no actual NFL teams that were included due to the lack of the NFLPA licensing for authentic teams, players, and stadiums. However, some of the teams are based on real teams. One could even create a team from scratch in the game. This one I couldn't overlook. Actually, I think I recall this was the John Madden Football 92 edition, where an ambulance would drive on the field and then pick up an injured player, and then the ambulance would then run over all the other players when picking up the injured player. However, in later editions, the player would move away when the ambulance arrived. Probably a good thing there. So the ambulance was removed after Madden NFL 2001 due to the pressure from the NFL. Not surprising. The Madden 94 NFL edition was the first that I really got a taste of Madden football, and it was actually first released in 1993, and it was the first Madden series that was officially licensed by the National Football League. As well as the first Madden game that allowed players to play the full regular season. And I do remember this, starting with the first game in the season and making it all the way to the Super Bowl, but the last few minutes of the game I lost. This game was not licensed by the NFL Players Association. That was done in the next edition, the next year. But all the players were only identified by number only. It was the first Madden game to use the famous words EA Sports, it's in the game, audio tag. It also introduced the flip play, play call mod, the pass catch mode, and the bluff play options to the series. This was the first Madden title to pause the action and rotate the screen during punts, kickoffs, and turnovers, rather than instantly reversing the POV to the opposite side of the field.
Green, hut, red, hut.
Madden NFL 95. The Genesis version of the Madden NFL 95 was the first Madden game to have both NFL team logo and the NFLPA licenses. Thus, the players were able to be identified by their name in addition to their squad numbers for the first time. And the game reflects all NFL rosters and attributes for the 1994 season. The version of Madden NFL was also the first Madden to showcase no passing windows, though passing windows can be retained using the options menu. Previously included was a past championship teams, and all franchise teams are not included. Player stats are tracked individually both in-game and throughout a season. The cover had John Madden on it, but also features two actual NFL teams. Dallas Cowboys left tackle Eric Williams, and San Francisco 49ers defensive lineman Carl Wilson, who had his number edited to show the fictional number 70, which was not worn by anyone on the 49ers roster in the 1994 season. Now, the Madden NFL 96 football game was designed modeling the 1995 NFL season and licensed by the NFL. The AI had been boosted and can hurry in 2-minute drill situations, spike the ball, and cover receivers with better efficiency. It was the last to explicitly be endorsed by the NFL on Fox, although a knockoff rendition of the NFL on Fox's iconic theme would continue to be used in Madden for several years afterwards. So here are some of the additions with the 96. So you can create a player that was added, which includes many positions, specific mini games that determine the ability of the player. The game was also the first in the Madden series to include secret classic teams, which are unlocked by playing any of the 28 pre-expansion NFL teams in the NFL and in the playoffs, and by winning the Super Bowl. And with that team, a rather easy feat, as the playoff tournament system allows a player to abort the game while in the lead and still win, really. The 28 expansion teams are each represented by a classic era equivalent, which ranges from the 1960s Philadelphia Eagles to the 1986 New York Giants, although all players on those classic era teams are identified by their squad numbers only. The Jacksonville Jaguars and Carolina Panthers, having been debuted in 1995, do not have a secret classic team revealed in this manner, nor do the All Madden teams. However, Carolina is attached to the blank slate NFLPA team used for create a player, and Jacksonville and the All Madden hide the super teams with players' names after the developers. These teams are accessed using unstated cheat codes. Now for the Madden NFL 97, and I do remember this one, and I think I played it briefly. It was actually released in 96. It was the fifth game in the NFL Madden NFL series to be created in the 32-bit game era. It was only the second to be released for any current generation console in that era as well. The first being the 1994 release of John Madden Football, which I just loved, actually, maybe because it was one of the inaugural editions at the time. Versions were released for the 32-bit PlayStation and Sega Saturn, and the 16-bit Super NES and Genesis, and also the Game Boy as well. The first edition of Madden to implement the use of a salary cap was when customizing the team rosters. It also features the new Baltimore Ravens, the expansion franchise that absorbs the roster of the Cleveland Browns for the 1996 season. The game also adds a team of real free agents as opposed to the blank slate used in the Madden 96, which can be traded and then added to other team rosters. Led by recent semi-retired quarterback Randall Cunningham, and could be played using a cheat code.
Set. 40 foot. That was a great catch.
Yeah, and the Madden NFL 98, which was based on the 97 football video game. Of course, it features John Madden on the cover. It was the last version of the Madden series to be released for the Super NES, Genesis, and Sega Saturn platforms, as well as the last Madden game to utilize the 2D spritz for the players and referee on 3D playing fields. Okay, the Green Bay Packers had been the best overall team in the game with a 95. The worst team overall was the Baltimore Ravens with a score of 71. A three-way tie between the Dallas Cowboys and the New England Patriots and the Green Bay Packers for the best offense with a perfect score of 100. There is also a three-way tie for the best defense in the game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks and the Green Bay Packers with a score of 97. The San Diego Chargers had the best special teams in the game with a score of 96.
First down.
To Atlanta, Georgia. Home of the
Madden
Atlanta
NFL
Falcons.
99, shortened just to Madden 99, is a football game released for the PlayStation, Nintendo 64, and Microsoft Windows. It was the first multi-platform Madden game to be fully 3D, and the second one to follow the N64 exclusive Madden Football 64. The game's commentary was done by John Madden and Pat Summerall. The American versions featured John Madden himself on the cover, while the European versions used Garrison Hurst instead.
Heads it is.
So jumping ahead a few years, the Madden NFL 06, which was the American football video game and was released in 2005, it was also the launch game for the Xbox 360. It is the 16th installment of the Madden NFL series by EA Sports, a name for the noted color commentator John Madden. The product featured the former Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Donovan McNabb on the cover. It is the first Madden game for the PlayStation Portable and Xbox 360. Okay, here are some of the significant changes with NFL 06. Madden 06 introduced the Superstar mode, which allows the player to create and take control of the NFL player for his rookie year all the way to retirement. An athlete can be created by evaluating pairs of judging based on their IQs, occupations, and hobbies. Whether the child would excel in the NFL or by importing a player. Superstar modes are essentially Madden's franchise mods seen through the eyes of the athlete. Rather than managing the team's front office, the player manages the career of his athlete.
Carolina goes with a four-man front. Gets rid of it. Drops the interception. The little lob doesn't find its intended target.
Follow your blocking on this run. When you see the lane open, just accelerate right through it.
Carolina using three linebackers. With the throw. Almost intercepted.
For Madden NFL 08, it was the last Madden game that was produced for the PC for a couple years until 2019. It was the 19th installment for the Madden NFL video game franchise, and it featured the former Tennessee Titans quarterback Vince Young on the cover. The San Diego Chargers defenseman and Luis Castello was the cover athlete for the Spanish language version. This was the first Madden game made for 11 different platforms. It was released on August 14th, 2007 for the Xbox 360, the Wii, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 2, Nintendo DS, PlayStation Portable, Xbox, GameCube, and Microsoft Windows. This would be the last version of Madden to be released for Microsoft Windows until, of course, the NFL 19 came out. So stay tuned and watch for all the latest videos coming up on my channel.